Hi all, it's me Aki from Bring Forth, and this is set 31 part 2. Could be terribly wrong about that one. Terribly wrong about that one. Anyway, I've been watching US politicians debate and Congress debates and debates about who is losing money and who is being corrupt and so forth. And there's this series of questions presented by one of these guys. The video name is Trey Gowdy shreds up Obama's executive orders in front of everyone. And the question is, since the president can have pardonable powers in that the president can pardon someone, can the president pardon someone before the act is done? In other words, can the president pardon a legal act and do it legal, just pardon the person through the justice system? Now, more or less the official hippie line is no, that's what they say. This is, by the way, set 30 part 5. But the official truth is that yes, the president in the US can technically do anything. They have nearly unlimited power to do anything in the system, but it will cause this thing called a constitutional crisis, where the president has to basically maneuver to the entire public that it is a good idea, or the president will lose his job. It's not as simple as simply doing that thing and remaining in power. You are essentially, if you actually do things like suspend elections on an executive order, you are expected to be able to convince the people as to why it should be done, and that is, as far as the US system is concerned, virtually impossible. They will overthrow you and reset the elections. Because what we're talking about here is basically heavy foot of government. Can the government do this and can the government do that? Essentially the government can do anything because it owns you. But there is a unlimited field of combat between the government's thought of owning you and your thoughts of your own rights. I mean, that line you would almost immediately, there's a possibility that you could win such a debate, but you will almost immediately be overruled if you suspend elections. So yeah, eventually they came to the same conclusion. It would go through a constitutional crisis. Basically it would trigger a civil war. The president is all powerful, but as soon as he tries to use that power, he gets into a constitutional crisis.